wonder if I know. If you are here, this is a test of LinkedIn Live. So you're experiencing it. Throw something in the chat if we know that you're actually here. I don't know how this, we are learning how this works in real time because testing LinkedIn Live is not possible. But our marketing team will write an amazing article about LinkedIn Live after this, and you'll learn so much if you want to be in attendance. For the marketing team on the A8 side, do you guys see like an attendee or anything? Because all I see, I know that I'm live on the page. That's great. I don't see any. I have no indicator. I do have Hey Connor from Jordan. That's cool. It also shows me a cool little LinkedIn indicator. Do you guys see on LinkedIn who is like viewing or anything? Because I see nothing. I've only got the comment from Jordan. That's what I see. If you're here and you have a question, feel free to ask us one. Jonathan Pavoni is here. That's amazing. Welcome, Jonathan. Welcome to our test of LinkedIn Live. I'd be happy to tell you about things if you'd like to ask any questions. I can tell you about the weather in New York. It's very cloudy and dismal and rainy. But what's up, Ryan? This is cool. This is super cool. A+ to this platform. The reverse video thing definitely gets me. It's kind of odd. Is there anything I can answer for anybody? How's everyone's day? I feel like I have to constantly make noise, or else it's just like a very weird I'm sitting here type of situation. Do you have a question I can answer? Could be anything. I could tell you about all sorts of stuff. Otherwise, we can talk about the Legos. We can log off. I don't know what it comes back for. If you think the test is good, feel free to take us offline. I kind of want to see it though. Hold up, wait. Before you take us offline, let me view as a member. Because I want to see how it like, the day is good. That's amazing, John. I'm happy for you. How's the weather where you are? And where are you? Oh, wow. It's like on the main A8 page. That's pretty cool. Doing a lot of custom quotes. We do a fair amount of custom quotes. I wouldn't say that it's more common than normal, that we aren't doing more custom quotes than we normally would do, but we do a lot of custom quotes and they're super cool. We've been spending a lot of time on the custom quote that powers Zebra, and adding more functionality to that. So I think that the Zebra custom quote now takes any payment, or it will soon. If it doesn't now, it'll take any payment method that Stripe supports, like straight on the quote. So you can charge in any currency, do ACH, do credit card. You can collect any global payment, different payment installments and plans. We've been doing a lot of work with custom quotes on that front. Question for marketing team. As I'm looking at this, I can see that we're live on the A8 company page. But is this like attached to it? Oh, it is. It's attached to like a scheduled event. Okay, so we could share the event. Oh, this is very cool. Yeah, it's very cool. Very rainy in Philadelphia. Makes sense. Also live on YouTube. That's pretty cool. What a cool product. We're using Restream for anybody who wants to know what's happening on the back end here. We've never used it before, so this is us trying it out. Charles Elmer, hot questions as always. What use cases for HubSpot ecosystem apps do you see that HubSpot probably doesn't want to build themselves, meaning partners should focus around them? Wipe out your user base. So big concern, something I think a lot about. So when you think about platform app development, right? The things, at least my framework for thinking about it is this something that is core to the platform that you're building on top of? So I wouldn't, like, I think Clone Attack, which is a product that we have, is like not a product I would ever build today. And the reason is like we're effectively exploiting a HubSpot feature gap, and it's something that they should build, and it's missing effectively. So there's a market opportunity for it, but at the same time, HubSpot just pushes a feature release and like that whole product is dead. And so that's a big risk. I think the other thing I think about is what is something that would cause HubSpot and things at HubSpot scale to have problems, but like a smaller business can potentially do a little bit better. So things that require like really high implementation or have really complex support requirements, those types of things are things that like HubSpot themselves probably doesn't want to build, or any platform company really, because the support volume for HubSpot of releasing a feature to 150,000 customers is really painful. And they can't go through like a really hands-on, in-depth user onboarding for every single person to make them effective. And so I sort of see the trifecta is products that are really deep, that have really in-depth customization. And as a result, HubSpot's unlikely to build something in that arena. Products that are not core to HubSpot's model. So I wouldn't build anything that's like ultra core to sales CRM, ultra core to marketing, ultra core to service. We've already seen that twice, right? If you look at Timerman, which is an SLA product we have, HubSpot has an SLA solution. Now, granted, Timerman goes much more in depth. It has a lot more customization and functionality. And the SLA on the HubSpot side is not as deep, but HubSpot still went and built it. And then we had another product that we were working on called Mass Edit, the HubSpot built as well. And so I think feature exploitation is a really bad strategy. And instead, what you want to look for is something that is extremely deep, extremely complex, and targets a particular audience or use case that HubSpot isn't targeting today. However, the biggest risk with any platform type business is getting deplatformed. So that's sort of my thoughts on that. The other thing I'd say is like building products is radically different than being a service provider. And I would caution any services business intensively from going down the product development side, unless you really understand software development, you understand like the costs and complexity, because running a services business, you're managing like finite capacity and supply with theoretical demand. Whereas in a product business, you have infinite supply and limited demand. And as a result, the way that you look at your economics is really different. And I think it's really challenging to do both of those at the same time. So like for us, A8 Labs is a completely separate business, has a completely separate P&L, has a completely separate management philosophy. Whereas Aptitude 8 is entirely on the services side and we optimize it to profitability. Whereas A8 Labs just like burns cash like crazy and makes no money. And Dax asked me to spend more money on things. So that's all we do all the time. From our marketing team, yes, I can see the chat from YouTube as well. So that's pretty cool. From Charles Insight, how long did it take you to build the AT-AT? The AT-AT took a long time. I think it was probably like 20 some hours. The legs were awful to build. The whole top body and the interior was awesome. It has like an engine room in it. The whole like front cockpit is like has like a whole area inside of it that like has dudes and fake Lego computers and all that kind of stuff. And then there's also, you can put up to 40 stormtroopers in it. It comes with like 5 that sit in there. And then you can also have, it has room for speeder bikes and other stuff. But the legs were terrible because you build the same thing again and again. And after I built the first one and I started on the second one, I realized that I could just batch them all. So I did that, but it took probably like 25-ish hours. I did it over Christmas last year. And then I have the Millennium Falcon in a box and I haven't pulled that out yet, but I have to finish setting some other stuff up. We just moved like 3 weeks ago. So my other hint is if you have big Legos, which if you don't have big Legos, I'd recommend getting big Legos because they'll fill you with joy. Is if you have big Legos and you have to move your big Legos, wrap them in saran wrap. And then none of the parts fall off and you can move them really easily. Whereas like anytime I pick that up and move it, like invariably a couple of things fall off, which is no fun. So those are my answers on Legos. I'll talk to you. My 2 favorite things in the world are HubSpot and large Star Wars Legos. So I'll talk about those anytime to anybody. Sweet. Marketing folks, I'm happy to stick around. I'm also happy to let us call this test successful and use LinkedIn Live for events in the future. I'm super interested if we get downloadable video and if this becomes an on-demand thing or how it works. We don't really know yet, so we're figuring it out. But thank you for folks that came. I think we're good to close this out, and we'll do more LinkedIn Live in the future. Bye, y'all.